most powerful earthquakes ever to strike Venezuela have hit the capital Caracas, back to back, just 39 seconds apart. Buildings have collapsed, people are trapped under rubble, and the US Geological Survey is warning that the death toll could exceed 10,000 or even 100,000. This is a major, rapidly developing disaster. Here is everything we know. At 18:04 local time on Wednesday, June 24th, a national holiday in Venezuela, the ground began to shake. The first earthquake, measuring 7.2 in magnitude, struck in the state of Carabobo, approximately 20 kilometers from the capital Caracas. Then, just 39 seconds later, a second and even more powerful earthquake hit. This one registering a magnitude of 7.5, centered approximately 23 kilometers southeast of Yumare. Two major earthquakes, less than a minute apart. The tremors were felt across the entire country, and as far away as Bogota, the capital of neighboring Colombia. In Caracas, the impact was immediate and devastating. Others collapsed entirely. Residents poured out into the streets in fear, many too afraid of aftershocks to return to their homes. Venezuelan Interior Minister Devastate confirmed on state television that buildings had collapsed in Palos Grandes and Altamira, two of Caracas's most well-known neighborhoods. Petrol supplies to several buildings were preemptively cut off as a precaution to prevent gas-related accidents amid the damaged structures. Footage shared on social media showed the full chaos of the moments during and after the quakes. Residents running into streets, objects crashing to floors, and buildings visibly shaking. Those who lived through the earthquakes described scenes of absolute terror. BBC Mundo contributor Vanessa Silva was in her Caracas home when the quake struck. The footage she captured shows her chandelier swinging violently as her entire apartment shakes, her cries of shock audible throughout. Journalist and BBC Mundo contributor Nicole Culster was on the 7th floor of an apartment building in Palos Grandes when the earthquake began. She described seeing the windows moving and pressing herself between her front door and a stone wall to try to protect herself. "I thought the building was going to fall on top of me," she said. Another Caracas resident, Juan Arez, described it as the heaviest quake he had ever felt in Venezuela. These are people who know earthquakes, and they had never experienced anything like this. The scale of what has happened is difficult to overstate. The US Geological Survey, the world's leading authority on seismic events, has issued an alarming assessment of the likely impact. According to the USGS, high casualties and extensive damage are probable. The agency states there is a 44% chance that the death toll will surpass 10,000 people, and a 30% chance that the death toll could exceed 100,000. The USGS has also warned that the disaster is likely widespread, that significant aftershocks with strong shaking may follow, and that there is a serious risk of both landslides and liquefaction, a phenomenon where loose ground essentially behaves like liquid during seismic activity, causing further structural collapse. These are catastrophic projections, and the full picture is still emerging. Venezuelan Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello addressed the nation in the immediate aftermath of the earthquakes. He confirmed that some structures had been damaged and had collapsed, and urged all residents to leave their homes as a precaution. Petrol supplies to several buildings were cut off to prevent any gas-related accidents amid the structural damage. Cabello stated that the government did not want any additional accidents on top of the earthquake damage itself. Emergency and rescue teams have been deployed across the affected areas, with first responders working to locate and extract those trapped under collapsed buildings. This is not the first time Caracas has been devastated by a major earthquake. In 1967, a 6.6 magnitude earthquake struck the Venezuelan capital, killing more than 200 people and destroying buildings across Palos Grandes and Altamira, the very same neighborhoods now affected again, nearly 6 decades later. Residents at the time also reported feeling twin shocks, an eerie parallel to what has just occurred. But Wednesday's earthquakes are significantly more powerful than those of 1967, and the potential consequences are on an entirely different scale. The immediate priority for Venezuelan authorities is search and rescue. People are calling for help from under the rubble. Buildings that are still standing are being assessed for structural integrity, and thousands of residents remain in the streets. unwilling to return indoors, while the threat of aftershocks remains real. The USGS has warned that aftershocks with potentially strong shaking are expected to follow, meaning the danger is far from over. International assistance and humanitarian aid will likely be needed on a significant scale in the days and weeks ahead. The full extent of the damage and the true death toll will only become clear as rescue teams reach the worst affected areas, and that process has only just begun. Venezuela is tonight facing one of the worst natural disasters in its history. 2 earthquakes, 39 seconds apart. Magnitude 7.2 and 7.5. Buildings down, people trapped, a death toll that could reach into the tens of thousands. Our thoughts are with every person in Venezuela tonight. Those searching for loved ones, those waiting to be rescued, and those who have already lost everything. We will continue to follow this story around the clock and bring you updates as the situation develops. If you found this report informative, please subscribe so you don't miss our next update.